Good afternoon, this is Peter Towers from ESS Biz Tools. Welcome to this webinar, Introduction to ESS Biz Tools. I hope that you've all had a great weekend and you're ready for a hectic week this week, getting near the end of June. Today we're going to talk about how ESS Biz Tools can assist accountants to deliver a wider range of services. I'll go through the webinar and stop every so often to see whether you've sent me any questions. If you have any questions, can you please type them out, and in webinar terminology, raise your hand and I will answer them during the webinar. If you think of any further questions at the end of the webinar, please send me an email and I'll get back to you with an answer. So what we're going to look at is the components of ESS Biz Tools. The system comprises a number of individual components based around products and tools, business advisory services, which is undoubtedly the most important segment of the product, our Business Plus newsletter, client mentoring and coaching, leadership, seminars, the 500 papers that are targeted at small businesses, and the link to ESS Biz Grants, which is a separate product which enables the identification of government grants that might be suitable for individual businesses. So what's included in the system? There's papers, there's PowerPoint slides, there's forms, there's standard letters, there's YouTube recordings to help accountants start using the system to generate non-compliance work, business advisory services work from your clients. So this is the chart which looks at the interrelationship of the various activities. We started with ESS papers and PowerPoint slides, and out of that we have developed the business advisory services, which comprises two main segments: the introductory to business advisory services, which assists accountants to get ready to offer business advisory services, and the products. There's 14 business advisory services products prepared, ready for use. Business Plus is a newsletter which we prepare every month except January, but there's two extras in May to assist accountants to deliver a newsletter to their clients that gives them business information, not just taxation. Client mentoring and coaching is the combination of some of our papers into 12 separate modules which assist accountants to educate your clients or your prospects on the type of services that accountants can provide. Leadership modules, there's 8 modules that have been designed to assist an accountancy business itself or individual small medium enterprises working with their accountants to achieve some improvement in their leadership strategies. Seminars, we've got 34 pre-prepared, ready to use seminars or webinars that everything's been done. All you've got to do is read the material and then start to deliver it. There's hundreds of forms and checklists in the system. There are tutorials, and we have a link to our associated product, ESS Biz Grants, which is part of the gold subscription for ESS Biz Tools, that identifies government grants that might be suitable for individual businesses. So that's the package within ESS Biz Tools. Everything that we're going to talk about today is part of the gold subscription. So what are the challenges facing accountants in 2014? Deloitte produced a report 18 months ago now called Digital Disruption, which forecasts some significant changes. We're going to look at some of those in a moment. The CEO of Deloitte, Guy Swigers, was interviewed in the Business Review Weekly magazine last year in September, and made a comment that the accountancy profession will get worse and worse and worse and worse before it gets any better. Client concerns. Debtors days outstanding according to Dun & Bradstreet, currently 54 days, far too high. What can accountants do to help their clients? What have you done about the Personal Property Securities Register? There's been over $40 million lost by the businesses that actually paid for an asset since the Personal Property Securities Register went through its transitional phase that finished in the end of January this year, so it's now fully operational. There are some very harsh stories floating around about the amount of money that individual businesses have lost, and there are court cases pending where liquidators and receivers are taking action to utilize assets, to be able to sell assets that their secured creditor did not finance and did not pay for, but the businesses that did pay for them would appear not to have appropriately registered their interest in those assets on the Personal Property Securities Register. Cost control. The CCH survey into small businesses concluded in April last year basically highlighted that according to the 1,040 small business operators who were interviewed, that cost control management was their biggest single worry. So one of the challenges I think accountants have got in relative to debtors days outstanding, the Personal Property Securities Register, cost control, among many others, is what are you doing to help your clients get through this problem area. This is an extract from the Deloitte Report. That report identified that 6 industry groups were going to suffer significant downturns in their business over a 3-year period. We're in the middle of that 3-year period now, and what's of particular concern for accountants, of course, is the identification there of professional services, which was forecast to suffer a downturn of 32%. Obviously, there was also forecasts of problems in some of the other industries that are listed there. Deloitte have produced some interesting information as to how they believe that businesses should respond to digital disruption, and their suggestions have been recalibrate cost structures, replenish revenue streams, and reshape corporate strategies. We believe that the key area that accountants could be looking at is to replenish revenue streams, and we believe that the products within ESS Biz Tools will assist accountants to do that. Here's some more comments from Mr. Swigers from Deloitte on the article on the 31st of October. Doomed unless respond to the threat of digital disruption. Volatility coupled with digital change will continue to challenge firms. It will get worse and worse and worse, and then when you think it can't get worse, it will continue to get worse. Those comments from the CEO of Deloitte, one of the top 4 firms, of course. So debtors days outstanding. What's some of the problems? Well, we've got 54 days outstanding. SME need help. Some of the things that you might be able to do are listed there. ESS Biz Tools contains a complete system within business advisory services to assist accountants to conduct a debtor's due diligence and to implement improvements in the debtor's system. And if your client hasn't got a written debtor's system, the ESS Biz Tools products include a template of a debtor's system that you can edit to suit the client's own particular requirements and then implement. Personal Property Securities Register. Personal property is all forms of property other than real estate. It's a badly named bit of legislation. I think a lot of people get put off by the word personal property. It should be called business property, I think, but it's not. It covers a wide range of transactions. ESS Biz Tools has a system on the Personal Property Securities Register to assist accountants to implement systems for their clients. There's major problems in the construction industry. About $40 million has been lost by the owners of plant and equipment because they hadn't registered it, and that's just out of the court cases. There's stories floating around that sums of up to $100,000 have just been handed over because the firm that paid for the asset has received advice that they haven't got a leg to stand on because they didn't register. There's a rumour that some accountancy firms are being sued, and I'm told that those cases are coming on in July. So the question is, are your clients fully aware of the PPSR? There's been some debate in accountancy circles as to whether this is legal work or accountancy work. I see that the drafting of the terms of agreement and the retention of title clauses is definitely legal work, and I don't think accountants should be doing that. But I don't imagine too many legal firms are going to be then going out and sitting down with their client and analysing all aspects of the client's business systems and then determining a system to help your client manage this very important legislation. Unfortunately, the government hasn't implemented any sort of training for small business. If accountants are the trusted advisor to small business, I believe that accountants should be providing these type of services. It will be interesting how the court cases come out. Unfortunately, some firms are being sued and there could be more. Cost control is a huge problem. That's what the survey of small businesses, 1,040 SMEs were interviewed by interviewers on behalf of CCH, and they identified it was the biggest single issue confronting small businesses. Is there more you can do to assist your clients to implement more appropriate cost controls? ESS Biz Tools has got articles and papers, etc., to assist in doing that. How can accountants assist? Some of those items which we got on the screen there at present. Hope we can assist in overcoming these problems. We believe the accountancy firm should be able to perform the role of cost consultant. So we believe that ESS Biz Tools can assist you to offer a range of non-compliance services to meet the challenges of 2014. When you look at the Deloitte Report, you look at Personal Property Securities Register, debtors days outstanding, cost control, whole range of issues floating around there. Your investment to be a subscriber to ESS Biz Tools for the Gold package, which covers everything we've looked at today, is $2,700 plus GST. Silver is $1,900 and bronze is $800, and there are obviously lesser amounts of product available for each subscription level. So what we might do at this stage is just go onto the ESS Biz Tools website. Whilst I'm doing that, if you have any questions that you'd like me to particularly comment on, can you please type your questions out and raise your hand and send them through to me. Thank you. I've gone onto the website now. There's the products that I've referred to earlier. We had the chart. If we go to Business Advisory Services, the products on the left-hand side are the individual modules within Introduction to Business Advisory Services. These are the modules to assist accountants to get ready to produce a business advisory services product. So the material assists in obtaining input from clients, partners, team managers. We'll view one of these in a PDF format, and helps to prepare the entire team to offer business advisory services to their clients. So what we're downloading here now is the introduction module, Introduction to Business Advisory Services. It's in the form of a paper which raises the questions. And has material to assist the firm to have some discussion with clients. What do they want you to do? Bit of a warning from my experience when I've assisted firms in consulting in this area. Once you talk to your clients about this, they get excited because, after all, survey after survey after survey conducted with small businesses for the last 20 years has identified that the small business community is looking for more services from their accountants or from someone, and because many of them believe they're not getting it from their accountants, we've seen the growth of the consulting and coaching industries, whereby SMEs have switched their allegiances and have basically left the accountants with the tax return work. If that's all you want to do, well, you're probably not interested in ESS Biz Tools. What we're hoping to supply you with is material that will help you develop a whole range of new services to do what Deloitte was suggesting, creating new revenue streams. So we'll just get through the you can see there's a whole range of forms and everything else in the action. So this is just the first part of how you might go about getting ready. The paper is basically an instructional article back to the accounting business. And there's a whole range of forms there to assist. We also have the products on the right-hand side. So these are the products that have been pre-prepared, ready for use within business advisory services: Debtors, business health check, business evaluation, budgets, chief financial officer services, business planning, buying a business, succession planning, selling a business, etc. So just to give you a quick idea how this works, if we go into Debtors, we've got a complete system summarized there. Of what's in Debtors. Just download this again as a PDF form. We've got the instructional paper, and then we have the forms which really drive this whole exercise. So if we have a look at one of the forms here, the Debtors Review Questionnaire. This is a questionnaire that could be used to undertake a due diligence review. on the client as part of preparing a debtors review. So that's hopefully giving you some idea of what's in the debtors system. We also have a debtors systems manual, which we might have a look at. This is a pre-prepared manual which you can use as a template to produce a manual for your client. We suggest that you charge your client for this. We'll just go into the PDF document again. The other documents are Word documents, so a subscriber is able to use them and badge the material. You would badge it across the top of those double lines. That's the idea of them. So on here you'll be typing prepared for by your firm. There's a set of contents. So you could edit this if you needed to suit the client's peculiarities, and they then at least have a written system. And part of your role, I'd suggest, would be that every 6 months you would, or every 12 months you'd review the debtors system to make sure that they are abiding by it. If there's been any changes, you would update it so that the business always has a written system. There's a whole range of forms. There's a credit application form. One of the reasons, I believe, for the large amount of time that debtors are outstanding is that many small businesses basically operate on the basis that they'll open a debtors account for anyone that asks for it. Here's a form that's been prepared to assist them to have their own form that a applicant can complete and submit to them. And it has acknowledgement of terms of trade, etc. included. Debtors guarantee form, form to decline, comments about the personal property securities register, and so on. So there's a whole range of material included in there to assist in operating a effective debtors management system. And they're the other items that are included in the business advisory services area. We might move on. Client mentoring and coaching. There's 13 modules to assist in educating the client and the type of services you provide. So there's the list of the module names. And the whole idea is that if a client contacts you or a prospect and they're wanting to start a business or buy a business, that you can supply them with some information so as to better educate them on the type of services that an accountant can provide, so that they get an understanding that you're not just supplying taxation services. No, sorry, I went the wrong way then. So we just go back into that. And in this first series on buying a business, there's a number of series, six of them. You would download it in one area so that you're getting this material to download, so that you're then able to send it to your client by email or mail. Some people send all these out together, but we think it's better to email it in one go, one week at a time, so that the client progressively receives the material. So there is a form that you would put on your letterhead welcoming the client to receiving this information. You obviously can redraft this if you wish, develop your own template. But it tells them what they're getting. So there's a letter to go with each series so that they're well aware of what they're getting. There's a survey form that goes with each letter or new series, so you would badge it up the top there, top of those lines. And what we're looking for here is for the client to tell you how helpful this particular paper was, and also to identify if there's any other item that they would now like to talk to you about. Our recommendation is that you have an admin person ring the client after a couple of days to see if they've read the material, if they've got any questions, and more importantly, do they want to have a discussion with one of the accountants in your firm? Because unashamedly, this information is there to assist the client to make a decision to go down this path, to be having you supply a wider range of services than just taxation. So while I was talking, I clicked onto one of the papers that they would be receiving, pitfalls in starting a business. So this is the paper that the clients received, which is hopefully giving them a far better understanding of what the services are that an accountant can provide. Then we've got all the other papers there as well. So that's basically how this mentoring and coaching aspect works. And the following week you would send out the next lot of material as well. It's a great way to unearth business opportunities from your clients or prospects. For leadership modules, there are 8 leadership modules within ESS Biz Tools. They've been prepared by a separate consultant, Peter McDougall, former colonel in the Australian Army, who runs a business called Leadership Academy. And there are 8 separate modules: teams and teamwork, leadership, making the difference, developing leadership, people skills, motivation, delegation, etc. So they're there and as part of the system. We have Business Plus, which is a newsletter we produce each month. So we'll go on and look at the one that went out last Friday. The newsletters are uploaded to our website on the second Friday of each month at 12 noon Queensland time. And a number of firms around Australia are waiting for those newsletters so that they can rebadge them and send them on to their clients. You can supply additional information if you wish. You can edit the material, but obviously you're then responsible for it. So here's the Business Plus edition. The ESS logo, as it says there, you should delete that before you send this material to your client. You put your logo there and your name. There's always an editorial article. This one we're looking at some of the difficult period that a lot of businesses are operating in at present. Insolvencies are on the increase. What should your clients be doing to protect themselves from real problems? improving a business valuation with more and more baby boomers wanting to retire. It's a very topical subject. It's very difficult to change the valuation of a business overnight. There's some strategies that can be implemented within our business advisory services selling a business. We have a whole segment which is looking at suggestions on how the business valuation might be improved. But normally that's a task that's going to take 2 or 3 years to properly achieve. We always have a commentary on what's it mean, trying to demystify accounting terminology. For the last couple of months we've been looking at some of the terminology relative to the Personal Property Securities Act. Government grants for SMEs. The government has announced the phasing in of the Entrepreneurs Infrastructure Program progressively from July 1. The first new program to be introduced is Business Management, which is very similar to the Enterprise Connect program that's now been discontinued. And we will obviously be giving our subscribers full details of the new program when they are finalised. So hopefully Business Management is going to get finalised this week, so that it can start on July 1. Research Connections is another component, a bit similar to the research component that was previously in Enterprise Connect. This is a program that the government's going to commence on the 1st of September. And Commercialising Ideas, which is meant to be a part replacement to Commercialising Australia, starts on the 1st of November. The big change, of course, is that the maximum grant is going to be $250,000 on a 50-50 basis, whereas Commercialisation Australia's highest grant was $2 million on a 50-50 basis. But it's something to help a lot of people get underway, and there's a list there of some of the work that can be done. Development of a business or commercialisation plan. Key work that accountants can undertake if you wish to be involved in business advisory services work. We've been running a series on characteristics of a well-run business. There's part 10, which is looking at competitor assessment. For the last 3 months we've been running a series on what services can accountants offer. The problem with a lot of small businesses is they really don't know what accountants can provide to them. I was at a Smith Inc. Conference in February last year on the Gold Coast, where one of the speakers was an accountant who indicated that he was reviewing the profit and loss of account of a client that he'd had for 15 years, and his staff had told him that they'd spent $26,000 on a business advice. He rang the client and asked him what the $26,000 was for, and the client said, I got a business coach in. They're pretty good too. The accountant said to him, you know, we could have supplied those services to you. The accountant told the conference that the phone went dead for about 30 seconds. And then the client said to him, I've been your client for the last 15 years. You've done a good job on our tax and investments, superannuation. You've never once told us you could have done any of the sort of work or given us any of this sort of advice that the business coach has been given to us. The accountant who was leading this discussion in the conference said it really taught him a lesson, that accountants need to be continually marketing their services to your clients, especially if you are going to supply a wider range of services. So we've got some suggestions there so that your client gets the idea of what your firm might be able to supply to them. Let's start off with a think tank meeting. Debtors, stock, cash flow, staff development, benchmarking, succession planning. Some of the issues that accountants can get involved in. This segment here called Attention Accountants is there to give you an idea of some reference material that might give you some additional information on some of the subjects that have been discussed within the newsletter, so that you'll be able to look at them and get some background information if you need it on the subject before talking to a client. So that's why we've supplied that. Obviously you remove the logo at the end, and there's a newsletter which you can send to your clients. You can add material to it if you wish, you can edit it if you wish, but you have a newsletter that is getting produced every month by January, and in May you get 2 extra editions, one on the federal budget as it affects small businesses, and the second on an end of financial year checklist, which we distribute to our clients in the 3rd week of May to send to accountants all over Australia, who can then on-forward it to their clients. The material within ESS Biz Tools is contained within sections and papers. There are 60 sections, which goes through to the numbers up to 490, and the leadership materials in section 900. The sections in between are material that is specifically targeted at accountants, and there's 50 papers in that area. We'll just have a look at a couple of these. We go back to operating a successful business. If you wanted to have a look at that characteristics of a well-run business that we're running the series on in the newsletter, there's a summary of it. And if we can just go to view, I was using this just before, so I'll just go back to the beginning. You would badge it with your logo and name above the double lines here. In this area here, you would be badging it. There's the contents, 20 characteristics. They're all prepared, ready for use. What I should have shown you is we should have gone into the download. I'll go there. This will give you the Word document. But in this particular section is also where the PowerPoint slides are. So we won't look at the paper again, we'll look at the slides. So for every paper, there's a set of PowerPoint slides. You could put your logo on this, and you could use the slides in seminars or small meetings with your client or your staff training, or if you're going to run a webinar with your clients that might be scattered all over the area or around Australia for that matter. You can quite easily use them just as I am doing it with you now. And obviously what we were showing there is if you open up a section, you get the details of the papers. There's 500 odd papers in these 60 sections. So you just click on the name of it, and there's the papers that are within that particular section. The accountancy area ones are in the sections 500. So there's a summary of papers that are targeted at accountancy businesses, representing contemporary views from accountancy trainers and commentators like Andrew Geddes, David Smith, Mark Holton, Rob Nixon, David Meister, and others, which we've utilised to develop this material. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, please type them out and raise your hand and send them through to me. The last area I just want to look at is client seminars. There are 34 seminars. They've all got a number, and after the name in brackets there is the suggested number of sessions and the number of hours it would take to present that session. Some of them go for 5 sessions of 3 hours. Some of our clients like presenting them once a year. They get people to turn up and pay for them. There is an annual seminar and a half-day seminar that some firms like presenting. This is not a bad time of the year to be doing that, either pre-June or in July. Other firms like the concept of conducting webinars throughout the year, so that if you were looking at differentiating your business, this is a 1-hour seminar. So over the period of time, we've discovered that the most popular seminars were the 1-hour ones. I found 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. great time. So in the material there's some generic material, general hints on the presentation of a seminar or webinar that hopefully will help you in presenting seminars. There's some explanations, there's venue bookings, and then we've got material that particularly relates to this seminar. So if you wanted to send a news release out to the media in your area, and that could be the free newspapers in the major cities, or it could be the newspapers in the country and provincial areas. You would personalise this by putting your own name into it and your firm name, of course, and you have a news release to go to the media. The media seem to be interested in stories from accountants because accountants are normally servicing small business, and there's a lot of small business operators out there, and they buy newspapers or listen to the radio. So within that package then, this one was on what makes you different, your competitive edge. Here's the paper that you've used as the basis. So this is all self-contained within this module. There's no chance of turning up and having the wrong material. So the paper's there, prepared, ready for use, as is the other paper that would be used, planning your business. And the operating a successful business, here's the PowerPoint slides that are there ready for you to use in that seminar or webinar. So everything is there ready for you to use. So in summary, we've looked at the various components of ESS Biz Tools. The process includes material to assist accountants to get ready to offer business advisory services. So this area up here, very important, helps you get ready to offer it. Tools to assist in educating small businesses on the types of services accountants can provide, which is within the client mentoring. None of this will occur, though, unless you've had some marketing activity. And the marketing activity, we believe, is achieved through articles within the Business Plus newsletter and client seminars. These seminars are very important in the marketing activities that are targeted at small business. The tools have been developed, which are part of business advisory services, in 14 individual services. And we'll be adding another 4 services this year, and that all comes as part of the package of services. And we also produce podcasts, which are available twice monthly to our subscribers to assist in identifying services that they are able to make available to their clients. So that's the total package, which comprises ESS Biz Tools. Everything that we have mentioned today is part of the gold package, which is available for a 24/7 subscription, irrespective of the number of authors within your office, for $2,700 plus GST for a 12-month subscription. So thank you very much. I'll just check again to see if there Any questions? If there are no questions, thank you for participating in this webinar today. Hope you have a great week, and please don't hesitate to contact me, Peter at ESSBizTools.com.au, if you think of some questions subsequently. We will be sending you a post-webinar survey form. We would appreciate it if you could complete that and send it back to us. We look forward to welcoming each and every one of you as a subscriber to ESS Biz Tools in the not too distant future. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Goodbye.